The Weekly Warp Pipe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the last episode of the year of the Weekly Warp Pipe.
That's right. Here, 2024, here we come.
That's right. Yeah, we've been at it, doing a bunch of episodes for you guys, and been having a good one. We thought we'd break down. I put down a bunch of statistics. We can chat about podcasts, how it did, and maybe some of our favorite past episodes, and what's in store for the future, I guess.
You guys will have to forgive me because I am going to be looking down, referencing my phone, because I'm doing this on the fly.
Yeah, we recorded, I think, 3 episodes in 1 week just because Jay's gone on vacation and my work schedule's a little off. So I was like, all right, just so we won't miss an episode. We haven't missed an episode ever.
Which is crazy.
So that's pretty awesome. That's one tidbit there. But we published our very first episode of 2023 on January 7th. It was episode 39, Gaming Resolutions of 2023.
Oh God, I'd love to know what I said.
I know. I was like, did we stay true to any of the things that we said? Did we have a certain amount of games we were looking to beat? I'd have to go back and listen.
Me too.
So maybe that'll be our next episode as well for the new year. I mean, might as well repeat it.
That's it.
That'd be a good one. It does say we currently made 52 episodes in 2023, and we're up to episode 89.
So that's that's 52 weeks in a year.
There you go. Makes sense.
That's
since we didn't skip. And then February 1st of this year was our first episode of Warp Pipe Wednesday. We added an extra episode per week, and this is where we talked about Blink-182 was our very first one of that one.
And we haven't shut up about them since.
I know. There was like 3 or 4 other episodes chatting about it. Well, I was thinking, we're only doing 1 episode a week. Maybe we can double down. And when we record our podcast, we do it back to back. We jump on, usually do our Warp Pipe Wednesday record, and then we'll do our mainline episode. And usually it takes us, an hour, 40 minutes or so. Jay hops on, and then I can just edit the 2 together.
Yep.
Also, we've been using StreamYard, so I recommend if anyone's trying to do some podcast stuff. I know Retro Redoctopus on their podcast, they have switched over to this. It's pretty streamlined and looks clean, and I like how I can do like different transitions here on the fly with my Stream Deck, so it makes it more interactive. I had switched to this, then I believe our first episode also wasn't heavily edited. If you watch any of our early episodes, we had kind of a different format, and it was taking me 2 to 3 hours to edit a podcast just because of the B-roll I would add in and try to make it more interactive. But all in all, it's a podcast. Most people are probably listening to it, and the visual is a plus. And if I can add a little bit of, transitions like this, sure, why not?
And Russ will throw in some pictures on the fly when possible too. So that's nice.
Right.
Like, for example, I guess we were talking about, what were we talking about? Oh, Sears catalogs. He was like able to throw some Sears catalogs pictures up, and
Right. With this, I'm able to view web pages, and we can browse that, so it makes it a little bit more interactive as well. I did put a note with the Warp Pipe Wednesdays. We did want to do a bit more content for everyone. It started out where we would also dive into the past, doing like nostalgic episodes, but it changed gears because I was like, to think of 2 topics per week of retro stuff consistently, I'm like, we're gonna run out of topics.
Yeah, we were afraid we would kill the main Saturday episode by talking about stuff on Wednesdays too. So then we just turned the Warp Pipe Wednesdays into what's happening with Russ and Jay this week, pretty much.
Right. And if we wanted to discuss any current gaming news or maybe games we're playing, we started doing that. And then I kind of dive back and forth. So if you listen to us on Spotify or iTunes, any of the podcast episodes, all the Warp Pipe Wednesday thumbnails are exactly the same. Purple background, Warp Pipe Wednesday logo. I'm back and forth whether I want to do that on YouTube. because when I edit the podcast, I have to edit 2 podcasts, edit 2 thumbnails, 2 descriptions.
It's a
So
lot.
sometimes it takes a lot, and I can't, and because it's off a cuff show that we don't really have a direct topic, it's almost hard to get a thumbnail that's gonna capture that moment.
Like, encapsulates the whole 20 minutes
Right,
as
so
we're
I'm like,
bouncing around like a pinball.
do I just do a generic thumbnail for those? So some of the episodes, I just was like, here it is, and just put episode whatever 33. But some of them, if we maybe talk about something for 15 minutes, that's what the core episode is about, then I'll create a thumbnail for that. Let's see. And we are currently up to 47 episodes of Warp Pipe Wednesdays. So if you haven't checked any of those out, feel free to do so. We got our most viewed episode. What do you think, Jay, was our most viewed episode? If you could guess.
Um, I'm I'm
It's early on.
I'm cheat like early on in this year.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just gonna I'm
this is of all time, not just this year, but
if this is not a Warp Pipe Wednesday, I'm gonna say NES Hard, most difficult games.
that's right. It was. We got 812 views on that episode, episode 40.
Sweet.
So you guys enjoyed that one a lot. So perhaps maybe we can do some follow ups, maybe Super Nintendo hard games or Sega hard games, and kind of follow that format.
I like it.
What other statistics I got? Our least viewed episode. And of course, this is all off of YouTube statistics. I'm not really sure I'm pulling Spotify, Google, and iTunes stuff. So I'm not sure how that plays into that. So it's all off of YouTube. Our least viewed episode was a Warp Pipe Wednesday. And it was only a few weeks ago. It was episode 46 titled Christmas Tree Little Debbie's. It got 79 views.
Nobody has the love for the little Debbies, I guess, like I do.
There they
Oh
are.
man, you got a box right there. I
I
need to
think
go
I
find.
think I have 2 left. Maybe I couldn't think of a catchy title for that one. Again, with the Warp Pipe Wednesdays, I'm kind of thinking a little bit like other podcasts that I listen to. Some of the titles are just like phrases, not
Yeah,
really saying what the episode is about.
right.
So maybe I'm trying that with the
I
Warp
don't
Pipe
know.
Wednesdays, and maybe it's not working. So who knows?
All I listen is to hockey podcasts, so I don't know if I'm have much help for you.
Yeah, the only other podcast I listen to, again, at Retro with Octopus, sometimes I could pop on their podcast. My buddy Mike Levy has a video game podcast called XVGM Radio, and they do music and stuff like that.
Cool.
And then I listen to Mike Herrera's podcast from MXPX a bunch.
Yeah, I listen to Real Kipper and Born from Toronto, talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and all things hockey. Um, I listen to what's the murder podcast? Crime Junkie. I
Okay.
listen to that, and then this Tuna on Toast, which is this guy that used to be like on K Rock in L.A. and he interviews like a lot of cool like musicians, like um the guy from Jack's Mannequin, Yellow Card, Blink 182, stuff like that.
Oh, nice. I wonder if that's the guy.
Striker is his name. Striker from Tuna on Toast.
Because I watched some guy on YouTube that does a lot of like pop punk stuff, and he like streams on Twitch, and I see the clip it's on YouTube. I wonder if it's his podcast or not, or if a different guy.
Maybe. Is
Who
his name
knows?
Striker?
That I don't know. Can't remember his name. All right, so I did put down a few of kind of my favorite episodes, and Jay can comment on these and maybe list a few of his.
Yes,
So I
sir.
put Weekly Warp Pipe episode 45 was 90 collectible cards were awesome is the title.
There you go.
We kind of went through the Flair X-Men cards, Garbage Pail Kid cards, some of the movie cards like Batman. What are the ones that I have?
Jurassic Park, I think we might have talked about.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. And I actually brought my little box over that I had from mom's that had the cards in it. So we were showcasing those. So that was certainly a
Did we
fun
talk
one.
about Garbage Pail Kids?
Yeah, I mentioned that Garbage Pail Kids, and there was the other one. What was the name of them? They were similar to Garbage Pail Kids, but they had like it was like Drunken Donuts and Hobo Cop and
Oh, yeah, yeah, I remember you talking about that. I don't know.
I forget the name off the top what they were called, but I collected those as well. So episode 45 was that one.
Yeah, cards are cool.
Warp Pipe Wednesday, episode 10. Relive the 90s with these transparent electronic devices.
Yes. That was one of my favorites too.
Yeah, this was when, again, with the Warp Pipe Wednesday, we were kind of also doing the nostalgia topics before we switched. And I was like, why was everything in the 90s clear?
I don't know. If you could
Phones, computers, Game Boys,
N64s, if you could see
and
the internals of the systems, it made it that much radder, and that's all the '90s were about, was being how rad could you get?
true, true. Yeah, so I definitely enjoyed that episode. If you guys want to check that one out again, it was episode 10 of our Warp Pipe Wednesday episode. Moving on, I did weekly Warp Pipe episode 57 when we discussed the Legend of Zelda games all in order.
Oh, yeah.
I think the new one was coming out, Tears of the Kingdom. We were trying to get some hype around that. So we went through every Zelda game, discussed what we liked about it, what we didn't, maybe when we purchased the game. So all you
I'm
Zelda
sure I had a
fans out
lot to
there.
say about the original, uh, Zelda: Link to the Past and The Adventure of Link, those 3, the first 3. I know I said those out of order, and I probably also had a lot to say about David Apuzzo and his ability to play Tears of the Kingdom for Infinity. He texted me the other day and he sent me this thing and it was like 250 hours into like the newest one and I was like, "Okay,
I
David, show
it,
off that you have so much free time."
it came up and I think Nintendo did like on your Switch, it had like Nintendo Wrap of the Year
Oh, I
or
need to
whatever.
see mine. I don't know what
So
ours
I
is.
think I had 70 hours into Tears of the Kingdom. And the one just below that was, I want to say, the game I got stuck on, Cathedral,
Yeah,
I think was like 50 hours.
we'll probably have a lot in Luigi's Mansion. And but my son does play the old, what is the old Zelda called? Breath of the Wild.
Gotcha.
So there's probably some on that from him, but not from me.
There was also, I just noticed, kind of off the topic, but on the topic, there was a fan made version of Link's Awakening DX version that someone made, and they made it like widescreen and like
Wow.
added a bunch of stuff. It was up for a few days. Nintendo, of course, put the hammer down on that bad boy.
Thanks, Nintendo.
But I think some people were able to download it, so I'm hoping able to get a copy. I don't know if I can stream it. I don't know if that's gonna like
Right?
do anything to the YouTube channel or if I'll just have to play this on my own time. But it looked really cool.
Now, am I not mistaken that they're gonna be doing a live action Zelda movie?
Right? Yes.
I am so excited about that.
I wonder. Again, we discussed this a little bit, but I said, is Link gonna talk in this movie?
That's a
Like,
great question. I don't
are they
know.
gonna
It'll
keep him
be
silent?
I think it's gonna be so freaking sick. I'm beyond excited about it.
Nice. Go moving on. I got the next one was the weekly War Pipe right after that, episode 58. These NES tracks will get you excited. This was the first time we did video game music. So me and Jade picked, I think, top 10 NES tracks. We discussed the game and then we listened to the track for a little bit.
I can see here on the cover we got Simon's Quest and Mega Man 2.
Yeah, and I'm sure we had a few other, probably Contra or something else in there.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know if you guys would be into that episode. Again, we're not like a video game music podcast, but I thought it was kind of interesting to dive into those and get the music and kind of relax and hear it. It's less talking, it's more music on that. So
I bet I said Bonnet Commando. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I probably said that.
that's got
And
some good
and
tunes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna guess you said McKids.
If not, it should be on there. Fun fact, McKids is our intro outro song. If you could play the MC Kids, however you want to pronounce it.
Oh
Then moving
nice.
on from there, weekly Warpipe episode 62. Me and Jay did SNES versus Sega, the console wars. That one did pretty good, going back and forth, seeing like, okay, which had better games, maybe better price point, marketing. Sega does what Nintendo don't, right?
So they say.
So they say. And the last one I had put on here, just jotting some down, was Weekly War Pipe episode 75, Nintendo $100 starter guide of 2023.
There you go.
Which was funny because I thought we had done this episode before, but we had started with the Super Nintendo. So we did
Okay.
very similar where you already own the console, you're given $100. What games would you purchase for this console? And, as if you didn't have any in your collection, which makes it hard. And then we go by video game price trending because you're like, oh, obviously you want, Mario, Zelda, but then those are pricey games. So then you
Right.
don't
So
have
it
a lot
eats
to
up your
spend.
budget.
Right. So those are kind of fun. Maybe we can go back for the future and do some more of those challenge. I mean, we have plenty of systems. I don't think we've done Sega.
Right.
We can do PlayStation, maybe Sega Dreamcast.
It
I
would
don't
be
know.
even interesting to do like TurboGrafx 16 because that's a console I never owned as a kid. So it'd be interesting to see like what maybe we would come up with. Now, that might be a very short list because I don't know. I think a lot of those games are pretty expensive, right? Unless you're getting
They
like football or something. Key
right. It
Courage.
could be again like I didn't grow up with the TurboGrafx 16 either, so some of the games I won't have much experience from. And like you said, it is an expensive console to collect for, so we perhaps could up the budget to a $200 instead of the original $100.
That's not a bad idea. Up in the budget.
Right. To reflect what the games, if you're doing Sega Saturn, those games are also more expensive. So it could be a $200 budget and try to get at least, 5 games or so.
I've
Which,
gotten my feel with the Mini.
yeah, I'd still like to get one. I didn't get a TurboGrafx Mini.
I feel like the Mini was just such a great way to have a good portion of the library without really having to, go in and purchase everything. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, the only other way I guess you would be able to experience is if you got a Turbo Graphics 16 EverDrive
Right,
to have all the
EverDrive.
games on it and then put it on onto your actual turbo. But then you need an actual TurboGrafx, and then you probably need to mod the TurboGrafx because I think it's RF. I want to say I don't think it's even AV. Like you have to get something
No, it
AV
is
for it.
RF. No, they do make no wait,
Oh, I think Hyperkin might make an adapter,
Hyperkin made an adapter. Yes, I have it. So
possibly.
people opening the old game closet, not understanding the mission here.
So what do you think? Some other episodes, I guess we could have, or do you have any that I didn't talk
So
about that you
yes,
like?
so as I was scrolling through, I saw. Wish I knew what episode this was, but it's a Warp Pipe Wednesday. Awesome play sets. Here we have on the front the USS Flag, the Technodrome. I see Castle Grayskull. I mean, just play sets when you were a kid were the greatest, right? Like the people love the Ghostbusters like Playhouse or Firehouse and the Ninja Turtle sewer. I don't know. I just thought it was like the coolest thing if you actually had the full play set when you were a kid. So
Right, and I think that came up too. We had talked about Christmas toys that you got in the 90s, and someone mentioned that they got the Spider-Man
oh yeah,
playset,
yeah,
which I
yeah.
never even
They
knew.
got the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Let's
Um,
see. This was episode 8 of Warp Pipe Wednesday. Do you remember these play sets from the 80s and 90s?
yeah, go back and give that a listen. That was fun. I'm gonna go weekly warp pipe. Also not sure what episode this was. Lunch boxes and TV trays. Because who didn't love carrying their favorite lunchbox on their favorite character on their lunchbox to school back in the day? I remember I had Batman and Ninja Turtles, and obviously now I'm sure we both have uh, Mario Brothers. Actually, you know what? I sold mine, so I don't have this anymore. But
That was episode 51, Vintage Lunchboxes Collection.
yep.
April 1st, we published that one there.
So that was a good one. Uh, Bumping up to crushing on the 90s, exploring the magic of our favorite
Yes.
TV crushes, I'm guessing is what it's going to say next. And spoilers, Alicia Silverstone Still number one in my heart, I think.
Still number one. This was episode 53. Yeah, and we had Topanga on there, Britney Spears. That was pretty interesting episode to go in and talk about. Who's what girls we had posters maybe in our bedroom that we were
Yeah.
crushing on.
I don't think I had any posters as a teen, but maybe later. Ollie Larder would have probably made that list as well if I didn't have her on there.
I
From
did have I had a Britney Spears poster, and I did have Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen poster as
oh
well for
wow.
some reason.
That one
I don't
makes
know.
me sad in my heart.
I don't know why.
I would have had Jodie Sweetin, the middle
Okay.
child. Oh, and Ollie Larder is from Varsity Blues. I never got to finish that. And Final Destination. Let's see. Keep on going. Um, we had playing online for the first time because I know that was like a big deal. Like playing Halo online for the first time for me was pretty huge. So that was a Warp Pipe Wednesday. It looks like.
Episode 15. What was your first game you played online?
Yeah.
Certainly an interesting topic too, since we're talking retro. Usually retro stuff isn't online. I mean, I guess you could have got online with the PlayStation 2, right? And the
Yep.
Dreamcast, I guess, kind of counts.
That's
I
right.
believe, I guess Xbox was in that same era. And I think a lot of people, Halo probably was that first online like co-op experience with another person. Because I think with PS2, I immediately think of I want to say was Fantasy Star online
It's a
or was
great
that
question
Dreamcast?
because I don't know. I didn't play PS2 or Dreamcast.
Right. See, I had played those, but I didn't get to play online. I think my first online game had to be way late, almost, Wii U or something
Mine was
like that.
probably Halo 2 or 3.
Okay.
Probably 3. But yeah, love that episode. Um, Another Warp Pipe Wednesday. The Burger King in the 90s sold some rad retro watches.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That was episode 17 where we dived into all the cool watches. Like they had Rugrats watches, Nightmare Before Christmas.
And I think that's the one that really got me thinking about those because I just loved the Nightmare Before Christmas watches.
I ended up finding I bought somewhere it was one of the Simpsons watches. I saw it at we had gone down to Virginia Beach on vacation. And there's a huge toy store down there, and I had picked up some action figures and this and that, and then I had gotten still in the box was one of the Simpsons watches. So very
Sick.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly a ton of episodes, and I say give ourselves a pat in the back. I said we had having it be called the weekly war pipe. I try to be adamant I'm not missing a week, so we haven't missed
I
a week
mean,
for
and
you
here we
guys.
are. We're double timing it. We literally recorded what, 2 days ago?
Yeah, and then 2 days before that, it's been 3 times this week.
Yeah. So me and Russ have been hanging out a lot via the internet.
So it's glad we could get all these episodes out to you guys. We appreciate everyone, whether you're listening or watching, and everyone that's called into the show. We had a lot of people call in. I thought that's something neat that maybe you don't see on a lot of other podcasts that they're not live phone calls, but you can leave a voicemail to us and we kind of can respond to questions or comments that you have. And I
It's just
listen.
a really cool way to let you be a part of the show as well, I think.
Right. You could join in on us and, you know, chat or
Build that sense of community.
right. So do want to call. Again, the phone number is 949-682-9277, 949-682-WARP. It's pretty fun. So we had those, definitely had a few phone calls, and we do our best to do the comment shout outs where we post on our socials and we read literally everyone's comment. If you comment, it's on the show.
You make
So,
the show.
since we're not getting thousands of like responses, it's easy to just get everyone on the show. So on Instagram, Facebook,
So get
what do
your
you say?
comments in now because one day there will be thousands and we won't
Right.
be able to keep up with them all.
Then we have to be selective to
That's
the
right.
core audience that commented when we were little time.
That's right. Hey, I like that your bottle matches your shirt, by the
I
way.
was just like, it disappears. I specifically bought this shirt because my buddy Tom Bullman has his company Bull Airs, and I purchased off of him the Captain N jacket,
Oh, sick.
and I needed a yellow shirt to wear under the Captain N jacket. So I just grabbed this off of Amazon. It's like a
It,
Hanes
it,
bright yellow.
and it looks cool with the Bass Pro Shop hat too.
Yeah, I know. And then I picked this up when we went to go see Santa. I was like, oh, look, they had all these trucker hats. And I grabbed the gray one and I was like, look at that. It's got a little yellow in it. It's
I
rocking.
love it.
I don't really fish, but
Hey, neither do
whatever.
I. I don't drink coffee, and I'm wearing a coffee hat right now, so don't feel bad.
Oh, there you go. I don't drink coffee either. I,
Hey,
d-
who
I,
knew?
I do eat coffee ice cream if that kind of
I'll
counts
drink a
for whatever.
cold brew,
Yeah,
and at Christmas Starbucks, I usually like to get like a peppermint mocha and shop, but I haven't done that this year.
gotcha. Yeah, I haven't gotten any gingerbread or peppermint stuff yet for the holiday season.
Yeah, me either. But oh well. I will go buy some more Christmas tree cakes if I can find them. Because
Right.
once they're gone, that's it for like 11 months.
Yeah, I know it. I still haven't got my gingerbread men.
Ah, blast.
So we'll see. We'll see. Um, I did just beat a video game before we got on the podcast here. I beat Axiom Verge. I picked that up on Black Friday and I just completed it today.
That thing,
100% too.
100%. Dang.
I found all the like weapon upgrades, the notes, like map completion, and it was a great time. So now I'm like searching to get the sequel. Limited Run did put it out. It's not on their website anymore, but there's a few on eBay. And I guess they also released vinyl soundtracks, so I may snag those as well.
I might go down and play some Metroid Prime when I get off here.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So
So
we'll see.
yeah, see if you could complete that before the new year. You got a
That'd be nice.
week or so to get that in. I'm working until Friday and I get Saturday, Sunday off, so I might be able to get some more time in on Spider-Man 2. I doubt I'll be able to beat that game because I'm sure that's at least like a 30-hour game, 40-hour game, just playing the mainline story.
Part of me wants to hook up my Xbox 360 and get my son to play some Halo with me today. I think that might be fun. If I could get him into that, he might think that was cool. So we'll see. Or
Nice.
Batman, like some Arkham Asylum or something.
Right. I was looking at the past. I have Batman Origins on the Wii U, and I was like, maybe I'll dive back into that game, use my save file because there's tons of stuff I haven't done just because I like the atmosphere because I believe it's Christmas Eve
Oh,
in
that's cool.
in that game and it's snowing in Gotham. So you're like,
Yeah,
yeah. So I definitely want at least one of the nights for maybe an hour because I don't have to be up early. I'll play that game.
sweet.
All right. So what do you think for the future of the weekly warp pipe? What do we got going on?
Oh, the future. I hate thinking about the future. I only want to live in the past, Russ.
That's true. That's true. That's what we do here. We jump into the warp pipe and go into the past. Rarely do we go into the warp pipe and head into the future.
That is very rare. I don't know. I mean, I hope in the future my computer still works. That's the one thing I hope, since I have so much trouble. Luckily, the last 2, 3 times it's worked quite well.
That's been the biggest hurdle, I think, with the podcast.
It has
Change
been
computer.
my computer, and sometimes you guys get great visuals of me for those of you that watch this on YouTube. Like today, like I have the nice Canon M50, just like Russ. We have the same exact camera. And sometimes when it doesn't want to work, then I have to go to the iMac, which is a little fuzzier, and I'm looking up, so it's more awkward. But
Right. It doesn't look as good. So, and sometimes I don't know why, but like the connection, he'll be blurry, but it's clean on his end. And then
yeah,
when I go get the footage, I'm like, it didn't work.
I
So
think
I'm like,
that's only happened like once, luckily.
right.
So fingers crossed. I don't know, but if there's any millionaires out there that listen to this podcast and just love it so much that you want to gift me a new iMac, I will get Russ my information. But if there's not one of those, we'll see. I gotta sell some more stuff in here anyway, so maybe I'll upgrade the computer soon. We'll see.
Right. I mentioned, with it being the new year, maybe someone got a new computer for Christmas and they're looking to sell their old one. So keep an eye on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace or
Yep.
something like that.
I'll literally only use my computer to talk to Russ once a week. So I don't know what else. I don't know. Maybe I should get on there and delete some old stuff from iMovie or not iMovie. What's it called? Final Cut.
Final cut.
I haven't used it so long. I can't remember what it's called.
Not like a new video's coming out, right?
That's right. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, we got the new year. I'm hoping I'm gonna be starting some new YouTube channels because why not?
More?
Might as well have
Jeez, Russ.
might as
Focus
well
on
have
one
both.
thing, buddy.
I'm gonna be starting a kids channel. I
There
don't know
you
if I
go.
mentioned this, but since my daughter's been watching a ton of stuff on YouTube, like Miss Rachel, she doesn't watch Blippy really, but there's a few other like content creators, and I'm like, I can certainly film like this.
Are you gonna create a character?
So my character is from my emails, Russ Lyman
Are you going
81.
Rustly Man?
So the character is Russ Lee Man,
Yes! I
and
was hoping it was gonna be Rustly Man.
I have a flannel, like a red and black flannel. I just bought some suspenders, and I'm gonna have like a yellow beanie, and so that's my character. I'm like in the woods. I got a nice green screen, so I'm gonna be doing some stuff, and I learned some songs on my acoustic guitar. So I'm gonna try to put together that. I already have the channel made and everything. Just there's no content on it, so I'm gonna be filming a ton of content on there. And then hopefully we'll see how it does because
So
it
when
would.
you get famous for Rustly Man, can I have some odd job so I can work with you still?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get some other people involved in getting on some episodes or something like that.
Dude,
Because
what
just
if Rustly Man is like the ticket? That would be so freaking hilarious.
like, I bet you I start it and it takes off and I'll get my play button on Rustly Man before even my main channel.
Russ calls me one day and goes, "Jay, I don't have time for the weekly warp pipe anymore. Rustly Man is a full-time job."
Right. Because basically with these YouTube channels with the kids stuff, like, people put it on and they watch it for hours, so you get that playtime over and over again, and you're watching it almost every day. So a lot of the content's repetitive, so I'm basically be filming short segments
Yeah,
and basically making an episode out of different segments each time. Here's a couple of me singing with acoustic. Here's me talking about this color, and you
yeah.
have each of them, so I can drop them in different episodes. So we'll see how it goes. So
So
I have
here's the
that going.
craziest thing. I'm so invested in this. I can't wait to watch it myself.
Was that's Here's the thing, because it's gonna be on YouTube Kids, so you can't comment. There's no comments, right?
That's okay.
So I can't get feedback. So I want to send it out to my friends and friends who have kids and be like, let me know, like, what should I do more of? What can I fix? So it'll be interesting to see. And
Well, you
obviously
know.
I'm gonna ham it up a little bit
Oh,
and
of
talk
course. You've
at a
got the
higher
perfect
pitch.
personality. I mean, this is gonna sound a little weird, but you even have like the perfect voice. You have like a very childlike, entertaining voice, you know? So
There we go.
it's like Blippi, but way cooler.
Right, I was because I've done Blippy parties in the past and appearances, so I tried to kinda mimic what he had, and when I was building this character, I did have, like, the orange suspenders and
Yeah.
glasses, but I was like, "I feel like that's too close."
You gotta
E
differentiate yourself. I think the yellow beanie's gonna be good. Even with you with all this yellow on the day, I was like, yeah, yellow's a good look for us. I could see a yellow beanie.
Yeah, so I ordered the color suspenders just to because I seen some. I don't have to have suspenders, but I think another pop of color would help, and
Yeah.
Steph was like, "Oh, I almost like the black beanie on you for the look," but I was like, "Yeah, but, it doesn't pop for, like, a child looking at it, he wants a
What
bright."
what about instead of suspenders, just because I'm trying to differentiate you more, and you can take my idea and throw it right out the window if you hate it, Russ. But like, what about like a bright fanny pack? And you could be like, "What's in the fanny pack today, kids?"
The thing
It's
with that is I'm not sure how much it will show up on screen where I'm filming since it's, like, the
okay,
lower
okay,
half.
gotcha.
But I do wanna do some segments with, whether I'm gonna get real binoculars or kid binoculars and be like, "What's that over there, kids?" And I'll look with the binoculars and then cut to, like, stock footage of a bird, or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, that's I love it. This is gonna be so freaking hilarious.
And
I
I
love
and
it.
I even so the one song I learned was called, Mr. Sun. "Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr.
Mr.
Golden
Morning
Sun."
Sun,
But
please shine down on me.
right, right. But I made it obviously, like, faster, like pop punk
Yeah,
style,
yeah.
so I was like, and I can even use some of my old band's music, Saturday Matinee, because it's mine, it's already produced, and it's me singing, so why not? Especially during the Christmas season because we have a Christmas EP. If you guys want to stream it on Spotify, iTunes, and all that, Saturday Matinee, 'Tis the Season. I know it's late in the year where you're hearing this the last day, but we have a bunch of Christmas songs on there, so that'll be perfect for next year
Yeah.
doing Christmas content. And now I have to think ahead. Whenever it snows here in Connecticut, I can film some stuff
Yep,
in the snow
yep,
for next year. But so I'll keep that going. Um, and we'll see what happens with all the other channels. But yeah, definitely we're going to try to keep the podcast going as much as we can. And hopefully not miss a week. I feel like eventually we're gonna miss a week. We've been pretty good, but I don't know, to keep it going forever,
It's so hard, you
it's
know?
definitely
Like,
tough.
I feel like we really I will say Russ's patience with me has been incredible because I'm often the problem. It's me, "Hi, I'm the problem, it's me." Because it's because I'm mostly because of technology and just it takes me so long to get stuff started, and sometimes I'll even turn my computer on, and it'll still take forever to get to this place. Luckily, like I've said, the last 4 tries, it's been pretty flawless, so yeah, I'm the problem, but we'll see how long we can continue. And yeah, just thanks for watching and supporting both of us and the comments and the phone calls and all that. We love it.
Right.
It's definitely fun and like because I don't see Russ because I don't live in Connecticut and he doesn't live in South Carolina and it's only Southeast Game Exchange. It's been a really great way just to like stay in touch with my friend here. Like
Absolutely.
guaranteed once a week I'm hanging out with Russ.
And like you said too in the past, like this kind of keeps your online presence still relevant because
Yeah,
you're not
because
putting up YouTube videos.
since I've basically just like destroyed my own profile, so
The whole thing essentially came about. I was doing a podcast. We had gone to Southeast Game Exchange, me and David Apuzzo, a few years back, and we were there chatting with Riff from Pixel Game Squad, and we did some videos and stuff. And he had mentioned something about Riff and Russ being R, and he's like, "That's kind of catchy." And I had brought to him, "What if we did a podcast called Riff and Russ?" And he agreed to it. It was on my Russ Lyman channel, and we did a couple episodes. I don't know, maybe 10 or
yeah,
so,
probably
but
about 10.
doing episodes with him is tough because he's in California. So now we're fighting a 3-hour time difference. So I would almost have to record episodes like 11:30 at night
Right.
because he would put his kids to bed and then it'd be, midnight here, 9 o'clock there. So it definitely became a challenge. And then all the stuff he has going on. So we could no longer continue that podcast. The episodes are still up on my YouTube channel. I don't know if they're on Spotify, if they ever made it there, but Riff and Russ, it's on there. You can check it out. But Jay then reached out to me, was like, "Hey, would you like to do a podcast with me?"
Yeah. I kinda because I kinda thought I always enjoyed Riff and Russ, and I was like, well, I obviously, we all know Aaron, AKA Riff, is a busy man. He's filming constantly. He's doing his own podcast. He's, you know, editing for other people, so he's busy, and, I get you gotta kinda go where that stuff takes you. Um, And I knew that I wasn't doing anything, so I was like, "I could do a podcast with Russ."
Right, right. So I said, okay. And then it was just coming down to finding a name, something that fits within the retro gaming community. But we also didn't want to tie ourselves to just video games. We wanted it to be all nostalgia. And we thought the weekly Warp Pipe made sense. It tells you the show is weekly. Warp Pipe is a video game reference. And if you go into a Warp Pipe, you can warp
You can
somewhere
travel.
else,
Yep.
travel to the past. So let's talk about video games. Let's talk about music in the 80s and 90s.
And I feel like we
Um,
settled on that pretty quickly, and I've always been really happy. I'm not always happy with NES Addict because I don't like the word addict sometimes. I'm like, kinda negative connotations
yes,
it
right,
can,
right.
but I always thought the Weekly Warpipe, that name is, like, super solid. Like, I bet there's YouTube channels or podcasts out there that wish they would have thought of that. At least that's how I feel.
And hopefully it helps with search purposes where if you put in warp pipe or something by accident or searching video game stuff, maybe it will come up. Um, Again, a bunch of people say they enjoy the episodes, the podcasts. And again, I don't know why it's not taken off as much as I see some other podcast or stuff doing. And like
Tell your friends.
we're constantly uploading, so it's consistent there. I'm
We
doing
got
my best with thumbnails and
we got great marketing.
we got market we got
Our logos are awesome.
we got mugs, hats, t-shirts, pins, buttons, magnets, like all that stuff. The website I started, theweeklywarpipe.com. This way everything I do kind of goes through there. If you go to theweeklywarpipe.com, it does have the podcast, but it also has the Russ Lyman videos I've done, snacky snack time videos on there. So it's kind of my main hub of going through everything. And that's where we host the podcast for the audio purposes for Spotify and all that goes through there. So we'll keep it going as much as we can. Do your best to spread the word to some people, or if you haven't, You can leave reviews on the audio portion, Spotify, iTunes, and Google's. Let us know that we're doing a great job, and hopefully it gets out to other people.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I could get some photos from Jay to do more promotional
That's
stuff.
hopefully that happens after this podcast. I promised Russ I would for his Christmas present. But yeah, leave 2 words. Just say this or this podcast rules, or just say anything, because I think the reviews really help you move up in the charts. So if everybody listening right now all goes and just takes 1 minute to leave a quick review, that will push us up. And the more views and the more money that I'm sure Russ can generate, the more willing he's going to be to put all the work into this podcast, and the longer NES Addict will be a thing, because I'm living vicariously through this channel, obviously. Like Russ said, if it wasn't for him,
Right,
I would
right.
have no online presence right now. So,
Right, and that certainly brings up a good point with, me having so many projects, me being a father now with Gwen. She's gonna be a year old next month. Trying to balance everything and, like, how much time and effort I put into something and seeing the output. Again, that's why we had to switch how we format these episodes. I was adding B-roll and all this stuff to make it visually more appealing, but then we weren't seeing the views. And when we switched to StreamYard here, we're getting about the same view. So I'm like, it takes me now maybe 10 minutes to edit the episode because I'm just adding intro, outro, adding a little bit of effects onto the voice itself, and then I have to come up with a thumbnail. So I have it pretty much streamlined to make it as fast as I can.
right.
That's about it. That sums up everything, I think,
That's
for
it.
the
We
year.
talked about the whole gambit.
So we hope you guys had a great year. Let us know maybe what some resolutions you're going to be having. That'll probably be, I think, our first episode for 2024 would be like gaming or just general New Year's resolutions, right?
Keep the topics coming too. You guys help fuel a lot of what we talk about.
Right. If you guys have suggestions, then let us know, and that'd be great. We'll put it on our notes. We'll get to it eventually,
That's right.
as long as it's not too wild.
That's right.
Top 10 serial killers.
Oh God, no.
No, not in this. Although we did talk about Jeffrey Dahmer
We did probably.
because it was on. He had a series.
That's right.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening this year. We appreciate you so much. Big shout out to the Patreon supporters. Our top tier Patreons are Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Livingood, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic 16, Austin Mills as well. He signed up this past month. I haven't updated everything, but
Good
thank
job,
you,
Austin.
Austin, for signing up. He ordered some stickers and Weekly Warpipe merch as well. So that'll be
Yes.
coming out to you. So very much appreciate it. If you guys want more information on that, patreon.com/Russ Lyman. Show your support there. And again, like Jay said, show your support by leaving a review. It would mean the world to us.
It would, and it's going to help so much.
All right, guys. Last time we're saying this, but as always, I'm Russ Lyman. Keep your world fun bit by bit.